Everybody wants to be successful, and yet we all have different ideas of what that is. Finding success is the journey we embark upon to go and get what's ours. We are willing to travel down within to find our greatness buried deep inside of us, questioning society's views and flipping the script, putting our own stamp on life. We're here because our future is within our control. Finding success is how we grab hold of what is possible. The relentless pursuit of success starts here.
Welcome back to another episode of the Finding Success podcast with Adam and me, Alex. Episode 14 today. Before we get into it though, please go to our Instagram at Finding Success. Give us a follow, review our podcast, like, share, subscribe, DM us, get involved. Anything you want to talk about, we are here, we are open. Get involved. So, afternoon, Butson, how was it?
Good. You?
Yeah, not bad. Right, on to a good topic today, accountability.
Nice.
I'm going to get right into it. So, what is accountability? Accountability is holding yourself accountable for something. Right, that's it. Job done.
End of
yeah.
That's it. Can't get
No,
explain any easier.
Accountability is, writing down things that you want to hold yourself accountable for. So that is, if I'm going to go for a run today, I'm going to go for a run today, and I will do it. Whether it's time specific or not, that's up to you. I think personally. And why is accountability important?
Many different reasons. It can just, it's almost like one aspect is almost goal tracking. You're monitoring if you're hitting your goals or not. You know, it's easy to say, I'm going to do this, have a goal, I'm going to run 10k today, but if you don't, I don't know.
Have a bigger, wider goal.
Or I'm going to start a business. If you don't ever have a system of monitoring it, if you're actually going for it, you're just never going to get it done.
Yeah.
So there's that, and that's the biggest part for me. Just what's the word? I don't know what the word is.
Tracking.
Yeah, tracking your progress, tracking your work. Make sure you're doing what you say you're going to do.
Yeah. Okay. How would you say? How would you go about enforcing accountability? How would you go about actually? Right. Okay. I am going to go for a run today, or I'm going to work on my business for an hour, or I'm going to read this book 10 pages, or so on and so forth. What are some methods that you would look into going about to enforce it?
So obviously, you'd like to be able to just do it on your own.
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice to be able to, you'd have the mindset and strength to do it by yourself, to say, I'm going to do this and just go and do it. But obviously that sometimes doesn't happen. Like, we're humans, we want to take the easy routes all the time. We want to find the easiest way through life. So we'll make excuses for ourselves. We've all done it with making dinner, watching TV, Netflix. It's that instant gratification. You don't want to do that sort of thing. So you find ways around it. So for me, it's having someone else holding you accountable at the same time.
Yeah.
Someone else there, just not enforcing your goals, but just checking in you're making the right steps towards it.
Yeah.
So you're my accountability partner.
Yeah.
And I think that's what helps me stay on target, because it's an external source that you don't want to let down. It's like going to the gym with a gym buddy.
Yeah.
If you go to the gym, you can go on your own and smash it, but then sometimes you'll just wake up one day and you'll be like, I'm just not feeling it, so you won't go.
Yeah.
But if you know there's someone there waiting for you, you'll go every time.
Yeah. Or even if you do go to the gym, you won't push as hard as what you normally would if someone's not there looking over you saying, right, come on, let's get this extra set done, or these extra reps out.
Exactly. And it's not like a teacher. It's not someone you're scared of or anything. It's someone there to help you.
Yeah.
And it works brilliantly if you're doing it for each other.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. And I suppose that's where accountability groups come into it, really. Because again, if you have, I think accountability groups are a great thing to use. But I think if you have an accountability group, I think maximum is going to be 4 people. Because if you, again, going through the reason of having 4 people, anything over 4, it's quite hard to keep track of. Yes. If you're concentrating on whatever you're doing, i.e. starting a business, becoming a trader, an investor, so on and so forth, that is quite an important thing, and it's a strong process that you've got to outtake. But if you've got also monitor 4 people, track 3 people and how they're getting on with their goals and process, as well as your process, it becomes quite hard.
Yeah.
So I think a smaller group, granted, sometimes if they're not on the same path as you or in the same direction as you, if you want to start a different business, it's not the end of the world. But I think if someone is looking over your shoulder and they're on a different path, they have different insights. And when they do have different insights, they have different ideas. And again, from last week, being creative, it's quite a good thing to have that someone else is actually on a different path to you and they can help you out in different ways.
How many times have we had our accountability sessions and you said, I'm tweaking this about before going to bed, or I'm tweaking this about my routine in the morning.
Yeah.
Now I've given it a go. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
And, that's just
vice versa. It's the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that again, with an accountability group, the people are different. And some people get up early in the morning, some people like to work later at night. So it's give and take. And as you said, giving those ideas to people that, for instance, are better at working at night than you are, then, you can say, well, I do it in the morning, maybe give that a go. If they haven't actually tried it in the morning, they're just a solid evening person, they can try it in the morning, and vice versa. You can get up later and try it in the evening. So it's quite good to have a good partner there that can sort of show you the ropes, really. Talking about our accountability sessions, obviously ours are quite short and sweet. We limit it to half an hour a session.
Yep.
So every Sunday. And do you want to talk about our spreadsheet?
Yeah.
So our spreadsheet is fairly simple, isn't it? We've got the tasks we want to do on one side, and from Monday to Sunday across the top. And very, very simple. X and O's. You do a task throughout the day, you put an O in it. If you haven't done it, you failed, you put an X in it. And you go from Monday, we do Sunday to Sunday, don't we?
Yes.
And we send it on Sunday, sort of 3 o'clock, we have our meeting, talk about where we went wrong, what we can improve on, and what we failed on, and also 5 important tasks we have to do for that week. And just because those tasks are, for instance, if they build a piece of furniture, if it's on that sheet and it's there as an accountability, then you do that. For instance, if you want to have a day off on Sunday, and granted, okay, that makes your accountability sheet full of X's for Sunday. That doesn't matter. If you held yourself accountable, I'm going to have a day off on Sunday. If those X's are done, but in your 5 big tasks for the week is have a day off on Sunday, and you've held yourself accountable to that, that's actually a win.
Yeah.
And people don't realise that.
Yeah.
So it's a give and a take situation. And having an accountability partner is also not just there to go, why are you being so today? It's actually there to say, right, okay, this is where you've gone wrong. Let's talk about why you've had 5 days on the bounce that you haven't read, or 5 days on the bounce that you haven't worked out. We can talk about that. What can you do about it? Where are you gone wrong? Are you getting up too late? Are you getting up too early?
Exactly. And
then you can kind of work it out that way and give and take ideas.
Exactly. It's perfect for tweaking your routines, your daily routines. So say the amount of times I thought I had a bad week, like thinking back in my head you've had a bad week. You've missed like your readings or your work hours or what. But then you look back at your sheet, you've been filling out throughout the week and doing it every night, and actually you've missed a few things. It's not great, but you've not had a bad week. So it's actually motivational. It gives you some motivation that you're still there, you're still working hard, and you're still getting stuff done that you want to do.
Yeah.
And then it's also on the flip side, if you think you've had a good week, but you look back at your sheet and you've had a bad week, you go, oh, I need to change something. And you just constantly evolving your routines and your methods of going around your day and trying to improve it every single day, every single week. And then like you'll see things that I don't see, and I see things you don't see, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
That all just helps you grow, helps you get better. They're doing it. They're doing whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I agree. And also, even filling out the sheet is an accountability exercise, because you have to actually go onto your laptop, or if you have it on a sheet of paper, get the sheet of paper and put an O or put a cross in it. So even that is an accountability exercise. And I think doing that exercise in itself helps you grow as a person, because you're having to push yourself to fill in this sheet. Sometimes you don't want to fill it in because you know you've had a really bad day and you don't want to put 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 X's in that day because you just haven't had a good day. But sometimes you can use that as a positive for the next day, and it makes you push harder and faster, and you've done the work that you've got up from the day that you've lost.
For sure.
And so it does work out. It swings and roundabouts, and I think it's also it's a very good exercise to do in that respect. But what if for someone, for instance, who wants to partake in accountability by themselves? Would you say that's still an achievable goal?
Yeah, for sure. You just do the sheet for yourself. You know, you wouldn't send it to someone, or if it was one of us, we'd just do your sheet for yourself and you review it at the end of your week. I think it's maybe not as effective, but it's still powerful. I think it still should be done because it is just so powerful.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, it's a visual of how your week's going. If you're hitting your goals, if you're not, yeah.
So yeah, as you said, some people aren't lucky enough to have, for instance, people that are around them that do have that support factor. Some people just have by themselves their work or by themselves and not have any social life or anything like that, and they do try to find the ways that they can hold themselves accountable. And as you said, using that sheet is just as important as sending it to someone else. Granted, it's not the best way because having someone there can you can talk through your wins and your losses. And sometimes if you are just reviewing it yourself, it gets quite tiring to go, I've done another bad week, and it puts you in a bad mindset.
Yeah.
And you go follow the next week and it's the same process. But for someone that is by themselves, feel free to send it in to us.
Yeah.
Because, if you are looking for an accountability partner, we can always have a network of people that are looking for that. And, even if you're in a completely different journey to someone else, it's always good to link up. And if you're in the same sort of area, country, it doesn't matter. It's just great to have someone there. And even if you don't want to, if you don't want to talk to anyone else, but just send it in to us and we can say, right, okay, well, what happened here? We can help you out with that. And that's, we're always open to that. So going back to enforcing it, as you said, those noughts and crosses, sometimes they hurt, but those 5 big tasks are also hurt and painful. If you don't complete a big task for the week, what do? Obviously, you can put 1, 2, 3, 4. You could have no task for the week. You could just have your accountability sheet. But if you do have a task that you don't complete that's quite powerful to you, well, how would you go about it?
Well, if I don't,
would you move on to the next week, or would you kind of?
No, it depends how important it is. If it's something tough one, depending on what it is. Say if it's something like reading the book and the day job got in the way, I'll just push on to next week.
Okay.
But you'd push on to next week with the goal of hitting that harder, putting it higher on your priorities than you would the week before, because there's obviously been a reason why you've not hit it. So maybe have a reshuffle of your priorities that week. But yeah, chances are if it's on the big priorities list on that side of the chart, you're going to want to hit it. So you're going to want to carry it over. Yeah. You're going to need to get it done.
And what about? I think you showed me this actually, and I found it quite a big win. Was I don't know for Google, but for Apple, obviously you can limit your screen time.
Yeah,
massive win.
Yeah,
massive win, because for someone who struggles finding the time to do stuff, and initially that was me when I first got into the journey. I'd get up early and I'd do my, if we were in lockdown, for instance, I'd do my 45 minutes and I'd have my 15-minute rest. And I'd sit there and be like, right, I'm just chilling out 15 minutes. And on my phone, I'm like, 25 minutes have gone past. I'll just have another 5 minutes. Let me have a cup of tea. And by the time you know it, it's been an hour and you're 45 minutes behind your journey now. You're like, oh my God, what have I done here?
Yes.
So having that screen time limit is a great idea. And using that to your advantage is even better. So I limit mine to an hour.
Yeah. Is this all socials? Social apps or phone in general? Or?
Social apps, social apps. So that includes Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and literally anything that is involved in physically watching and looking at my phone. Minus
wasting time.
Yeah, minus texts, which are very important, or phone calls. Everything else is limited. So I cannot, in any way, shape, or form, physically sit there and go, I'll just sit here and chill. Because if you're sitting there, and I don't watch TV very often, so if I'm sitting there, the TV's off and I'm not doing anything, so I'm just sitting here doing nothing, wasting my time where I could be working. And, that procrastination is what is going to hit you harder and losing time there. And you go, right, let's get it done. And you end up catching up work tenfold because you've actually gone and pushed yourself.
That time you're wasting on reels is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
And it's amazing. So, I started doing it a little while ago, and it does help because it's almost a form of personal accountability.
Yeah.
Your phone pops up and goes, "Oh, you've been on this a long time," and when you see it, you're like, "Oh," it hits you. So, damn, this is an hour of my day gone. Like it's just warning me an hour's come up and gone. So it's sort of a boost to go get your ass off the sofa and go. Whereas, and sometimes I found myself going, "Oh, bugger it, right, turn it off, put it in pocket, and just carry on sitting there," because I'm like really demotivated not to work or something like that. And I'll sit there and go, "Well, this sucks."
Yeah.
Because TV's not on again. I'm just sitting there, you realise I'm doing nothing. I'm not even thinking about progressing. Because there are, they're good things. Thinking hours are good, having time to just think is good. But unless you're actually thinking, it's a waste of time. So yeah, that's when you get up and you go and attack whatever it is you need to do. And I'm a bit reluctant to do it sometimes.
Yeah. But
because the app's told me I can't have it, I've sort of had to listen to myself because I know it's me that set that app. It's not the phone telling me off. It's me telling me off.
Yeah.
You got to listen to yourself.
Such a big win.
It is. Little hack, isn't it?
Yeah.
Little life hack.
I think a lot of people don't realise that you can actually do that. I certainly didn't.
No, do you know what? Where did I learn to do that? It was that, watching Netflix is not good. Not a good plug. But it was that thing on Netflix about the social media, the Instagram thing. Have you watched it? Can't remember.
Social Dilemma or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was on that I realised you could do it. Because obviously they don't advertise you can not go on apps or shut yourself.
That's what they want you to. They want you to go on your phone. They want you to have that screen time.
Exactly. So they don't advertise that, but it's there and it's very powerful. As long as you do
stick to it.
Yeah. Occasionally I have been going, "Oh, give me another 15 minutes."
Turn everyone 15 minutes.
Yeah. But no, it's better than not doing it.
100%. And that, again, that comes to everything, just holding yourself accountable for using your phone. That goes to if someone's into gaming, it's like the same thing. If you limit yourself to a time and, that time is done, it's gone, you cannot, just one more game, you will lose so much time in that respect. So do have time limits on things, and just tracking is a massive thing.
Yep.
An absolute massive thing. I will spend an hour, for instance, if you say in my accountability sheet, an hour of education or mindset work or anything like that. It's such a big goal to hit, and if you aim for an hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, and you just really, really hit that goal, and you've got the idea of from Monday or Sunday to Sunday of hitting that, then it just becomes a lot easier for yourself.
So much easier.
And getting rid of Netflix.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to stop paying. I cut it down to like the cheapest subscription you could do.
Yeah.
It's like $5, and I'm just not using it. So I'm getting rid. I'm putting it on my accountability sheet this week. Stop paying for Netflix. Oh no, the bill's just come out, so I'll keep it for this moment.
It's scary though, isn't it? Because if you, again, before I started the journey, I would literally sit there and just watch TV and be suckered into watching a program that added no strength to my life whatsoever.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what life is for some people.
And I'm not saying, you can't enjoy TV and you can't enjoy your spare time, because, everyone has to enjoy spare time eventually. And if you aren't feeling fulfilled to do work, then, obviously you're doing the wrong thing. But I used to lose hours and hours just sitting on my arse watching TV, and I had no progression whatsoever, and it was not good at all. And so even just cutting TV down is a massive thing for me.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think if you have something that you're working towards, you automatically close it down anyway.
Yeah.
Again, we spoke about rearranging time and overcoming problems around time. It's easy to do. There is time there to be found, and using the app locker isn't one thing, and limiting yourself to spending time doing useless tasks is another thing. And we already spoke about that, but it's easy to do. It is easy to do, and accountability is one place that you can do that.
Yeah, exactly. Your partner, or even us, if you send it in to us, we will find those times that you are wasting on your phone, on your TV. Those times it builds up massively, because one episode of Simpsons turns into 2 episodes of Simpsons on TV. It's an hour gone, and that's an hour of productivity that you could have been smashing.
Yeah,
so it is important.
All right, what about then? Final question, or before I go on.
No, you go.
All right.
I'll go on.
on your sheet,
Yeah.
if you do have a bad week, and again, for instance, say if I wasn't there, or we didn't send it in, or we weren't speaking about accountability, then how would you go about correcting it?
Well, before what?
Just
Sorry.
as in, say if you put across a really, really bad week and you were having loads and loads of crosses,
Yeah.
and you had no one to send it into, how
Right.
would you go about creating a better week, or correcting that week?
So I think there's a few ways of doing it.
Okay.
Obviously, be very critical of yourself. Find out. Be honest with yourself, just like we've said in the past. Why is it that you've not done what you said you wanted to do? Because that is, the sheet is only of things you've said you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So at one point you were very motivated on, so Sunday it is for us, isn't it? You're very motivated to do those sort of things. Whereas on the day you're not motivated. So you got to find out why not. Is it because you're tired from work? You're not motivated to, you're not, passionate about what you're putting down on the sheet, that sort of thing. So find out if that's your answer. Because chances are that's a big part of it. And if it isn't that, and life's getting in the way, if you've got kids and family that you've got to deal with, I don't understand it. Because
sack the family off.
Get out. Right. You've got to find. It's gone.
All right, I've got another question for you.
All right.
What do you personally put in your accountability sheet? Talk us through that.
So I put reading.
If you want to.
Oh, a bit.
It's quite personal. Obviously, accountability should be a personal thing. You shouldn't go out and shout the world, I am doing this.
Fair.
If that is really an accountability thing that you want to do and that is in your sheet, that's fine. But it's personal. Some things are personal, some things are quite open. So personally, if you don't want to share anything, that's fine. But what do you put in your sheet?
So
that's quite
obviously the daily tasks section.
Yeah.
It's fairly, I try and keep it the same every week because I like routines. I think it helps.
Yeah, I agree.
I've got stuff like exercise. Force myself to exercise because I think it's massively important for your general health is wealth. If you feel fit, you feel confident, you're going to be doing better work.
Yeah.
It's just, that's what I believe. So I've got exercise, I've got reading because I do struggle to motivate myself to read. So I do need that sort of push to get me towards that goal of reading loads. Journaling is another one.
Yeah, big one.
Because again, I struggle to get that done every night. So chances are so I've got a few that sort of link together. So the exercise and the stretching, that sort of links together. If I do one, I've normally smashed the other, so that looks really good on the sheet. And then if I do my journaling, the work in the evening that I wanted to get done, whatever that may be, I've got a couple of different types, but whatever it may be, if I get that done, get the journaling done, and I get this sheet done, it normally smashes off quite a large chunk of the day. So it's just those important things, the little things basically on my sheet are the little things that you need to do daily to constantly grow: the reading, the journaling, and the work.
Yeah.
That's what makes it quite effective for me. Again, they're not big tasks; they're half an hour tasks, But I think compounded over the years, they'll make a huge difference.
And that is where goal setting comes into it.
Yeah,
because obviously you've gone to your yearly, 3-year, 5-year, 10-year goals, and you've broken them down into into monthly sections, and those monthly sections and weekly sections are where your accountability falls into, and that is where your tasks are going. And obviously, if you have a really good week, you're that massive jump closer to that year goal or that month goal because you've had a really good week, and there's only 4 of those in a month.
Yeah.
So you're a step closer, and again, that week, that month is a big chunk to that year. So breaking down those goals from yearly and putting them in your accountability sheet, and those 5 must-do tasks for the week is a great idea for that. And obviously that is what you're doing as well.
Exactly. Perfect.
Which is great. And also journaling. If you do have a bad week and you know where you've gone wrong and you don't have an accountability partner, put it in that journal. And even if you do have an accountability partner, put it in that journal because that journal is there to correct you.
Yeah.
And if you have a bad day, but if you have a good day and you had a good routine, you woke up at a certain time, you had a shower at a certain time, you done a certain amount of exercise, certain amount of stretches, and it was a brilliant day and it made you feel on top of the world, use that for your continuous years, decades.
That's a good point. You can, if you don't have an accountability partner, you can always look back at your journaling as your accountability partner. You find out where you went wrong or something. Yeah, carry on.
completely took it right out of my mouth. There,
Sorry, Barry.
You done me.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, go on.
What do you do when you're getting all those X's on your sheet if you're not hitting your
As a group or as an individual or both?
Both.
So as an individual for me, again, filling out that sheet by yourself is also a task in yourself, and holding yourself accountable for that. But just me putting those X's on that sheet makes me think, oh my God, what have I done today? And it almost makes me, because I fill my sheet out at the end of the day. So just before I go to bed, it's the last thing I do after my reading. That's it. My day's done. And if I put loads of X's on it, I'm like, mate, I've got to get these done before I go to sleep. So for me, if I've physically got no energy and I have to go to sleep, then it's a loss for me, and that's fine. But I have to continue that over to the next week, and I have to improve. And I journal about it.
Okay.
But as a mindset feature, it puts me in a rut. But that rut changes my mindset into a driven perspective. Okay. For instance, if all those X's and I just see red, I'm like, oh my God. But I know that because I'm quite as a person, if someone tells me that you're doing rubbish at a job, I instantly do better. As a person, I have to be quite hard on myself. If someone tells me, oh, you're doing great, you keep going, I'm the person that goes, oh, well, I can slack then because I'm just doing so well. I just don't need the help.
Yeah.
I can just get more reds and I'm doing great. It's all right. If someone tells me, get your ass into gear, I'm completely different. My mindset switches and I'm like, right, I need to drive. So I use that.
Yeah, X's are the someone saying you're doing.
Yeah. Job. Exactly. That is my right. Okay, go, drive, get it done. And that is what I do. I put myself in a negative mindset and I go, right, I need to sort my stuff out now. I've got tomorrow, say if it's Wednesday, for instance, I've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to sort it out, get going and drive. And those Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday will instantly be better if Monday and Tuesday was bad.
Yeah. Okay.
And as a group, that's what you're there for. You're there to tell me that you're doing a rubbish job, sort you out and get it done.
Fair. Where did that mindset come from? You just developed that over the years?
As in...
the harsh, because that's quite a harsh critic on yourself. Or, not critic, you're almost whipping yourself in the back.
Yeah. It comes from the fact of sports.
Yeah.
Being a sportsmanship and if you lose a fight, I took it hard as a kid. I'd cry about it when I was 10. I'd be like, oh, Dad, please help me. I don't want to do it anymore. But I think that mindset is, being my parent was like, right now, shut up, go to training because training was on Mondays and Thursdays. Get your ass to training and put in 110% effort, and we're going to be training at home, and you can be going out for a run Wednesday, and so on and so forth. And when that happened, my wins got bigger. When my wins got big, I thought, hang on a minute, this is what I need. Mm-hmm. And so that was drilled into me.
Yeah.
And so ever since that day, even when I was 16, I got my first apprenticeship in the job. And, if I'd done something wrong, I'd say, right, lay it on me thick. Because if you don't lay it on me thick, I can get away with it. And I'll continue to get away with it. And I will. I'll just push my boundaries.
Yeah.
If you lay it on me thick and I'll go, right, sort it out now, I'll sort it out and I'll be 10 times better.
Interesting.
And it's always, ever since that age of like getting into professional fighting, that's where it's changed for me.
Interesting.
What about yourself?
I don't think I'm as harsh as that. But I'm similar. I see when I've had a bad week, I do go a bit hard on myself, but it depends on the situation. Some weeks, if they start bad, that's it. It spirals out of control.
Okay.
And I have a horrendous week. And it takes me to the Sunday to go, mate, what are you doing this for? Are you doing this for fun, or are you doing this because you want to get done? And that's the Sundays really help me because it helps me refocus. I think that's the biggest bit about it. They just help me refocus and get going again. I do sometimes struggle. I have to occasionally put in my calendar to refocus on goals because sometimes I forget what my goals are. It's quite common for me, to be fair. Even though I write them all down, got sheets everywhere, I have to go through them again, just remind myself what they are because I do get caught up in we can just watch TV. I think it's something to do with my environment, boys that I live with. They're not on the same journey. They're not. Their lives aren't as, not driven because they're very driven people, but on a different...
Regimented type of...
a different way to me.
The industry that they're in, they're flexible. They have to be flexible.
Yeah.
Whereas the industry that we want to get in is complete opposite.
Exactly.
It's very regime orientated. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's. I think that's one of the hardest. Why I lose track of my goals so often, because the 3 people I spend the most time with are not, and they don't have similar goals at all.
Yeah.
So it's quite hard. So I have to keep doing that quite a lot. And that Sunday that we talk, it's just a mini refresher every single week. So I hit Monday quite hard normally, and I do really well. And to be fair, I find if I hit Monday hard, it's just more motivation to hit Tuesday hard.
Yeah.
Why is it hard? So when I come back from an event and I have a sleepy day, that's when my week goes.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm not whipping myself like you. I need to get into that, really. I do need to learn that side of it. But I don't know, for me it works better if I just look inside and look at my goals and reset and go. I'm better.
But that is, in some ways, that's perfect, because you've got 2 people that have 2 different ideas about how they correct their problems.
Yeah.
You've got me who takes things like the world's about to end and I need to sort it out, otherwise the world is going to end. And you got you on the other hand that you know sometimes you're having a bad week, but that Sunday that comes around and you can talk to someone and go, right, I need to sort this out, and Monday comes and you're down the road, and the bad week that you had is written off and doesn't exist anymore, because the work you've done outweighs that by tenfold.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there's 2 ideas there.
Good point. Just before we end it, have you got any more questions? Or you?
I'm all done.
You're all done?
Yeah, I'm all done.
Just before we end it,
go on.
I just wanted to bring up David Goggins, because we were talking about him earlier and it just spiked my mind for him to be quite motivational. It was about when we were locking apps and just realising you had to get stuff done, going after it. I listened to him. I don't know if anyone knows him. I'm sure you do. If you listen to his podcast, you'd probably listen to some of the stuff he goes on about. You heard of him, haven't you? He's a badass. He is absolutely hardcore. He's ex-Royal Navy SEAL, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's just the epitome of holding yourself accountable. Everything that you do is on you.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard of him, go and research him. He's on Joe Rogan's podcast. That's I think it's number 1212. Fantastic podcast, really motivational, and he's worth listening to, because he's like no excuses.
Yeah.
If he's told himself he's going for a run, he's going for a run. It could be hailing, snowing, tornado going on outside, and he'll go for a run, because it makes him stronger.
Yeah.
Because if he can do it then, he can do it when it's sunshine and bright, and it's mint. And he's had quite a life story. He's gone from a huge barrel to an absolute machine.
His book is really good as well.
I've not read. I bought it. Not read it.
Good book.
Have you read it?
I'll start to read a few bits of it. Yeah, it's really good book.
I do need to read.
Really good book.
Anyway, that was all I wanted to say.
Yeah, good stuff.
So that's the end of this one. Thank you for listening, guys. We'd really appreciate it if you leave us a review. Follow us on Instagram, Finding Success. Slide in DMs, get involved. If you do want the accountability sheet, we'll set that up, send it out to you, start filling it in, send it back to us. We'll make that work. We'll help you out, anyone who wants it. Until next time, dogs.
Success is available for everyone, so why should you settle for less?